Beyond the gate, spoilers tease that Leslie cuts straight into Vanessa and Nicole's private conversation as if she owns the air they are breathing. As if the ground beneath the Dupree family has not cracked because of her lies. As if shame is a word she has never learned. She does not hesitate. She does not soften her voice. She just steps in, smiling that thin smile that never reaches her eyes. There are no words left to describe how shameless she is anymore. None. After everything she has done to the Dupree family, after the betrayals, the manipulation, the theft that still lingers like a stain that will not wash out, she still dares to act as though she is the injured party. It is almost impressive in a twisted way, the way she rewrites reality inside her own head and then expects everyone else to follow the script. But no one does. Not this time. She has begged for help from so many people already, and every single door has closed in her face. Not gently either, closed with intention, because people are tired of her. Tired of the schemes, the sweet voice that hides sharp intentions, the constant need to use others as stepping stones. Leslie's nature has finally caught up with her, and the isolation she is facing now is not an accident. It is a consequence. Before she cornered Vanessa and Nicole, Leslie had tried a different tactic. She went to Smitty, thinking perhaps professionalism could override personal resentment. She wanted him to write an article about her soon-to-open clinic. She presented it as a noble cause, a community effort, something uplifting that would make him look good as a journalist. But Smitty is not naive. He cannot forget that the entire concept of that clinic was stolen from Samantha, his daughter, whose excitement had once filled their home when she first shared the idea. Leslie had taken that spark and claimed it as her own, polished it, rebranded it, and now expects applause. Smitty's refusal was not loud, it was not dramatic, but it was firm. He told her no, and there was a weight behind that word. A father protecting his child's dignity. Leslie tried to argue, tried to frame it as a misunderstanding, but Smitty would not budge. The disappointment in his eyes said more than anger ever could. That door closed too, so she recalculated. Vanessa, successful in real estate, well-connected, respected. If anyone could help promote the clinic, bring in donors, create buzz, it would be her. Leslie approached her with calculated charm. She flattered her, called her the spokesperson of Joey, implied that her voice carried influence beyond business, that she was practically the heartbeat of the community. It was transparent, painfully so. Vanessa could see through it almost immediately. There was something about the way Leslie leaned in too close, the way her compliments felt rehearsed, like lines memorized in front of a mirror. Vanessa felt the disgust rise quietly, not explosive, but cold. She refused. Direct, controlled, no room for interpretation. She would not attach her name to something built on deception. But Leslie does not leave when told no. That has never been her style. She lingers, she pushes, she acts as though persistence is the same as passion. She stayed there, hovering, trying to twist the conversation back in her favor. And that is when Nicole arrived. Nicole took one look at the scene and understood immediately. The tension, the forced smiles, the air thick with unspoken irritation. She knows Leslie's pattern. She knows how easily Vanessa could be provoked if pushed too far. Nicole did not want her friend dragged into a shouting match that would only give Leslie the attention she craves. So Vanessa changed tactics. She told Leslie calmly that if she continued to stay and press the issue, any slim chance of help would disappear completely. It was not a scream. It was not a threat delivered with drama. It was strategic. And it worked. Leslie left. Not gracefully, not with dignity, but she left before Nicole's patience snapped. The second she was gone, Nicole did not hold back. She called Leslie exactly what she is, a hypocrite. Someone who steals Samantha's idea, wraps it in the language of charity, and pretends it is a selfless act. Nicole sees through the so-called free clinic. She suspects there is another motive behind it, something self-serving, something designed to repair Leslie's public image rather than serve the community. Vanessa agreed. She even joked, though there was an edge to it, that maybe Nicole should offer Leslie a course on how to genuinely give back, because clearly she has no idea what that looks like. The humor was dry, almost bitter. Nicole did not laugh much. She said she could not even stand being there anymore because the space felt contaminated by Leslie's presence. That word hung in the air. Contaminated. So she suggested they leave together, and they did, choosing distance over confrontation. Elsewhere, after the basketball game wrapped up, a different kind of tension was unfolding. Andre watched Carlton and Kial closely. The rivalry between them had started as playful competition, but it had grown stale, repetitive, almost childish. The constant jabs, the need to outdo each other, the subtle digs disguised as jokes. Andre could see what they refused to acknowledge. Nicole was tired of it. The bickering was not impressive. It was exhausting. Before everyone dispersed, Andre pulled them aside. He did not lecture. He did not raise his voice. He simply told them the truth. If they keep mocking each other, if they keep turning every interaction into a contest, Nicole might decide neither of them is worth the trouble. It was a warning wrapped in calm advice. Sometimes losing both options is easier than choosing between two immature ones. Carlton tried to laugh it off at first, but there was uncertainty in his eyes. Kial crossed his arms, defensive, but he heard it. Andre has been through this before. He knows what it is like to stand under the scrutiny of the Dupree family. He knows that pride can cost you something real. His words were not random. They were based on experience. And then there was Isaiah. Ted invited him out for a beer after the game. Simple on the surface, casual, but Andre knew better. He wished Isaiah luck, and there was meaning behind that wish. Because Ted does not invite someone for a drink without intention. It is a test, a quiet evaluation. Andre remembered when he first started getting serious with Danny. The dinners, the questions, the subtle glances exchanged between family members as if measuring his sincerity. The Dupree family does not hand out approval easily. It must be earned. Andre had endured those moments, the probing conversations disguised as small talk, the moments where one wrong answer could shift the entire mood. He stayed honest. He stayed steady. He proved that his feelings for Danny were not temporary, not opportunistic. And eventually, he won them over. So when he looked at Isaiah, he saw a younger version of himself stepping into that arena. Ted would likely ask about his intentions, his plans, his stability. He would watch how Isaiah handles pressure, how he speaks about the future. A beer can feel heavier than it looks when every word is being weighed. Andre hopes Isaiah is ready, because surviving that conversation is not about charm. It is about authenticity. The Duprees can sense performance. They have dealt with too much deception lately to tolerate another. Everything is connected in a strange way. Leslie fighting for relevance, clawing at doors that keep shutting. Vanessa and Nicole choosing to protect their peace rather than engage in chaos. Carlton and Kiel standing at a crossroads between ego and maturity. Isaiah about to be examined under Ted's quiet but intense gaze. And through it all, the Dupree family remains the center of gravity. People either rise to meet their standards or crumble under them. Leslie, for all her schemes, seems to be crumbling now. The more she pushes, the more isolated she becomes. The more she insists she is misunderstood, the clearer her true nature appears to everyone else. There is something almost tragic about it, but not enough to erase accountability. She made choices. She stole from Samantha. She manipulated narratives. She assumed that charisma could erase damage. And now she stands outside the circle she once tried so hard to infiltrate, knocking on doors that will not open. Meanwhile, others are learning quieter lessons. That respect cannot be forced. That rivalry can become repulsive if it goes too far. That love, if it is real, can withstand interrogation. The tension is not explosive yet. It simmers. Conversations end abruptly. Looks last a second too long. Warnings are delivered softly, but carry sharp edges. Leslie may think she can still maneuver her way back into favor, but every refusal chips away at that illusion. Vanessa's threat was not loud, but it was final. Nicole's disgust was not theatrical, but it was sincere. Smitty's no was not negotiable. And Andre's advice was not casual, it was protective. The real battles are not always fought in dramatic showdowns. Sometimes they unfold in interruptions, in refusals, in quiet tests over a glass of beer. And the ones who survive are not the loudest, but the most genuine.